Hey distinction students, welcome to the last tutorial video for the topic corruption. We are just going to look at two things here: the impact of corruption and the institutions that fight against corruption in Zambia. So we'll start with the impact of corruption in Zambian society. So as you may know, corruption has never had a positive impact. It always brings a negative impact on the Zambian society. So high levels of corruption inflate prices of goods and services. It is a bad thing. So let us look at some of the affected areas. Some of the affected areas. So we'll start with the law enforcement agencies. Police officers cannot enforce the law properly if they involve themselves in corruption. Judicial system. Justice is denied if court officials practice corruption. The electoral process, we are talking about the voting process here. This is also affected. Unqualified leaders occupy offices, and this may make citizens to lose interest in democracy and taking part in the affairs of the nation. Security of the nation. We are talking about immigration offices here. Corruption at immigration offices can make criminals to enter the nation. They will just bribe them and they will have access to our country and they'll harm us. So security of the nation is also affected. Apart from that, the economy. As you know, government officials may evade taxes. So economy of the country is affected by corruption. Affected. Education system. Here we're talking about standards. Standards are distorted because people are not selected on merit. For example, they may say at the University of Zambia, we're just going to be enrolling students with 6 points only. But because of corruption, people with 20 points, people with 56 points will bribe the officials. People in authority will be bribed and they'll have access to the University of Zambia. Hence, it will be distorted. It will no longer be the University of Zambia. So the education system is affected. Administration of land matters. Administration of land matters. We are talking about the council here, the local councils. When they are distributing the plots, the lands, when they are selling, how do they do it? Nepotism. They know that this is a high cost area. They will bring their relatives. They know that this area is good for this. People will bribe them and they will sell them the plots just like that. So this is also affected. Government purchases. You give 2.5 billion to the Minister of if it's healthy or education to buy some of the necessities needed in his ministry, but they'll buy things for 1 million, not even in billion. They will steal all the money. So corruption affects the government purchases. And when they ask for checks and balances, what did you buy? The minister will just bribe the officials. People who are investigating will just be bribed and they'll forget about it. So corruption is a very bad thing which should be prevented in our country. It makes the poor people become more poor. The rich become richer and richer every day. So corruption is a very bad thing. Now, how can we fight corruption? Do we have institutions in Zambia that can fight or that fight against corruption? Let us look at some of the institutions involved in the fight against corruption. The first one is the Anti-Corruption Commission. This commission is specifically meant to fight against corruption. That's why it is called Anti-Corruption Commission. So the Anti-Corruption Commission is an autonomous body. Autonomous means it is self-governing. it is self-governing. It's not like the president who initiate the investigations and prosecution. It's not like that. The Anti-Corruption Commission is an autonomous body. It governs itself. So, in its fight against corruption, the Anti-Corruption Commission uses 3 departments. It uses 3 departments. Pay attention here. They do like these questions in the exam. The first department is the prevention department. So the prevention department makes sure that they prevent corruption by all means. They conduct managerial accountable workshops in both public and private sectors. The second department is the Department of Investigation and Prosecution. So they investigate cases of alleged corrupt practices and they prosecute if evidence is established. Community education. This department only sensitizes the community or the society about the dangers of corruption and how they can help in combating corruption. Apart from the Anti-Corruption Commission, we do have some other institutions that fight against corruption. The first one is the Zambia National Procurement Authority, National Tender Board. This one ensures that there is transparency and accountability in government purchases. Whenever the government is buying something, as you can see this word here, procurement means to purchase something. So it ensures transparency in the government purchases. Zambia Police, they arrest this. They find you that you are practicing corruption, they arrest. Parliament acts as a watchdog. It provides checks and balances, makes sure that money is used for intended purposes. Government money is used for intended purposes. We have the Auditors General Office, the Investigators General Office. These, they fight against corruption. Anti-money laundering unity. So these are government institutions. These are government institutions that fight against corruption. But apart from the government institutions, we have civil society organizations that are involved in the fight against corruption. Meaning, they are not controlled by the government. They are just on their own. They are not controlled by the government. The first one is the Foundation for Democratic Process, FODEP. This one is also a civil society organization that fights against corruption. Secondly, we have the Transparency International Zambia, TIZ. This one is also a civil society organization that fights against corruption. We have National Movement Against Corruption, NAMAC. This one is also a civil society organization that fights against corruption. Media is very important. It exposes corrupt practices. So the media also helps in the fight against corruption. Before I end the video, I just want to tell you or to let you know the motto of the Anti-Corruption Commission. They may ask you this in the exam. Motto of the Anti-Corruption Commission. It says, promote integrity, say no to corruption. Say no to corruption. This is the motto of the Anti-Corruption Commission. Promote integrity, say no to corruption. So all of us in the country, especially you people who are having this privilege of learning the effects, the bad effects, the impact that this habit has on the country, should help in combating corruption. Otherwise, with corruption, there can never be development. So, say no to corruption. As I In this video, I say no to corruption. Repeat after me. Say no to corruption. See you in the next video.